Welcome to the Big Challenge Big Match. We're taking 3 members of staff from Bishop Challoner Boys' School in Tower Hamlets, East London, and setting them an equine challenge to help raise money for sport relief. We want them to train in the art of horse riding before attempting to play a match of the traditionally exclusive game of polo. In preparation for the big day, the staff will be introduced to the basic principles of horsemanship. They'll learn how to handle a polo stick and ball before being introduced to polo horses in anticipation of the big match. The question is, will they manage to score at a gallop or fall at the first hurdle? It's day 1 of the big challenge and the staff and pupils are having an assembly about raising money for sport relief. Before it ends, head teacher Phil Leyland has a surprise for the school.
Good morning, boys. You're here for a very special assembly today. Over the course of the time that we've been open since 2001, we have a very good track record of raising money for charity. This year we're going to take it to a slightly different level, and 3 teachers from this school are going to take part in a challenge. To talk about that challenge, I'd like to introduce to you a star of children's TV, an Olympic champion. If I can introduce to you, Adi Adedepton.
What's up? How you doing?
Hi, Adi. Nice to see you here.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome Adi to the school. I believe you've got some exciting news for us.
Yes, I have. But before I let you know what it is, I need 3 members of your staff up here to help me out. So can we have a round of applause for Mrs. Bayliss? Hello. Welcome. And the second member of the team, Mr. Chinnery. Round of applause. Ooh. How you doing? And the final member of the team, Mr. O'Halloran. So, your teachers have agreed to participate in a sporting challenge to raise money for sport relief. But they haven't got any idea of what it is. But just to give them a little help, I'm going to show you a clip.
I think it's really exciting. I've never ridden a horse before in my life.
I've done some riding when I was a kid, so I'm looking forward to relearning some skills.
There you go. So your challenge is a competitive game of horse polo. And in preparation for this, we're going to send you back to school, riding school, because you're going to need to learn horse gymkhana, which is a round of skill-based games that demands good horse control. So what's your horse control like?
I've never been on a horse in my life.
Any of you's been on a horse? I'll tell you what, a word of advice, no trotting, man. It's no good for geezers. Right, now, only once you've mastered the horse gymkhana will you be allowed to take part in the game of horse polo, where every point scored counts. So you ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to make some serious cash for sport relief?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Let's do it. Round of applause for the teachers. Good luck.
I think it's a good challenge because none of them have done anything like this before, so they're going to have their wits about them, use anything they've learned before and see what comes out.
I think Mr. Halloran's going to be the best because he's a funny guy and he's my head of year.
I think a lot of my boys are laughing at me, the idea of me, 6'3" overweight scouser on a horse, is making a lot of them laugh very loudly.
I've been on a camel and I've been on an elephant, but not on a horse before.
The last time I was on a horse was age 8, I think, and I think I was terrified and I probably ended up crying at that time as well, so it'd be good to get back on.
It's the beginning of the training programme and the staff arrive at Epsom Riding School in Surrey. On hand to introduce them to all things equestrian is riding instructor Louise Bailey.
I'm going to be looking after you for today, so let's go and see your horses. James, you'll be riding Badger. You'll be riding Rosie.
Standing here watching him's a bit daunting at the moment, but I'll be alright.
I think she's more worried about me than I am about her. I think I'd be worried if I wanted to pick someone my size up.
You'll be riding Chloe.
As this is Vicky's first time, she's a little apprehensive.
So that's your saddle. You'll be sitting on that. You have your stirrups which your feet will go in, and that's the bridle, and that will go on her head. And you have two things in your hands called reins. Yeah. And you pull them to stop, and you kick to go. Okay guys, this is your instructor Tina, and she's going to be taking you through the lesson.
1, 2, 3, and over.
Knowing how to use the equipment as well as learning how to communicate with their horses will be crucial if the team are going to become competent riders. Whilst learning to ride, each member of staff will be accompanied by a leader to help guide their horse.
The first thing we did was just got used to being on the horse and had to go sort of steering the horse and trotting and walking. It just put a big smile on my face.
At first I was quite scared of the horses, I didn't want to get too close, and then by the end I just didn't want to go off.
Okay, let's ride our halt. Let's take those reins a little bit shorter. Good, John. Lovely position, John. You're sitting really nicely. That's it. Watch your leg, John. Take your leg off. That's it. While the horses are in halt, pop your hands on the front of the saddle. Okay, and you're just very gently going to stand up and sit down. So if you're just pushing the weight down through the bottom of your leg, good, stand up and sit down. We're going to do that in the walk.
An integral part of riding is perfecting the sitting trot. Easier for some than others.
It's like just being a kid again and just getting back and bouncing around. I suppose it's all about rhythm and counting beats, so being a maths teacher really helped.
Vicky, who's not a maths teacher, is finding a rhythm harder to achieve.
I couldn't quite get my balance right when I was trotting and getting the rhythm right, but hopefully with a bit more practice it will be fine.
Perfect horse. He's lazy, he's calm, you have to really encourage him to walk on, but it just made it a lot easier for me.
Try not to pitch forward as you're coming out of the saddle. To try to push more down on the heel rather than the toe.
They've done really, really well. It's really hard to get someone riding in that length of time, and they've understood everything that they were taught, and they've got good basic control. Vicky just struggled a little bit with her rhythm. She's just tending to push her lower leg forward and her seat to the back of the saddle. John was excellent. He was very natural. He has a really nice leg position. He just got on with it and rode. He done very, very well. And James too, he had very good natural rhythm as well.
Much better than I thought it was going to be. Once I relaxed, I think everything sort of came together. It wasn't perfect by any means, but yeah, it was just a lot better once I started to chill out a bit, it was fine.
Up a little bit after lunch.
The teachers have learnt the basics of horse riding, and now it's Louise's job to build up their confidence with a round of gymkhana exercises.
Okay, and nice steady rising when you're ready.
The gymkhana is a skill-based event that tests a rider's ability to perform a number of complicated moves and ride at different speeds.
Brilliant, that's really impressive, John, well done. What I want you to do is to get your horse to walk on and stop over the pole with two of their legs in front of the pole and two of their legs behind the pole. John, off you go. So walking on. Now the secret is to keep nice steady walk and slow each leg down one at a time. So start to slow down.
John's horse has a mind of its own.
Let's have Chloe. And now.
After a shaky start, Vicky and her horse are doing well.
Okay, let's have Badger when you're ready.
But James's horse is still feeling lazy.
One more step. Yay, well done. And walk on, good.
An intrinsic part of completing the gymkhana is learning how to ride with one hand, and Louise has a good trick for helping them achieve this.
Okay, now you're going to give your reins to your leaders. You have to trust them quite a lot because you can't stop now. I want everybody to put your hands on your hips. Good, that's it. Get your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. Now your inside arm, which is your arm facing me, we need to slowly stick out like an airplane. Good, let's do some nice big circles backwards. That's it, get those shoulders crunching. Okay, go forwards to trot. So you put one hand on your hip. Good. Put the other hand on your hip. Good, well done. Circle, Evelyn. Good.
I enjoyed the trotting. It was a bit more formal than I ever did before, so I've learned tons this morning.
Whoop. Well done. And sitting trot and hold on. Is it sitting trot and hold on? Brilliant. And take your reins up. Well done. Okay, are you ready, James? Let's have one hand on your hip. Good, well done.
My favourite part of today would be doing the rising trot and actually seeming to get it right. Starting to feel a bit more like a pro, even though we're nowhere near it, but it made you feel a bit more special as you're doing it.
Now when we turn, in classical riding we do this, as you may have noticed. In polo, you do that like driving a helicopter. See, that is very good, that is polo style all the way. Brilliant. Okay, are you ready, Vicky? Now try not to rely on her mane too much, because polo ponies don't have manes.
I can't believe how well we've done in such a short space of time, because we're probably only on the horses for a couple of hours, but I think we all will remember what we've learned, and hopefully tomorrow we won't fall off.
No aches and pains. I thought I would do. No more than normal after the day in school.
Can't wait to get back on. I would have stayed on if I could, even though it's getting a bit sore, but apart from that, looking forward to it.
They got on really well. From watching them, like this morning with Tina, I was thinking, oh, they're a bit wobbly, but then in the afternoon they were great, and once you get over the fear factor and get a bit more confident, and especially using like one hand as well, because that's what they're going to have to do tomorrow. I think once they get on the horse, have a bit of a warm-up, I think they'll be okay.
It's day 2 of the big challenge. The team have learnt to ride, completed the gymkhana, and now, after a good night's sleep at a nearby hotel, how are they feeling about the big match?
Personally, what I want to get out of it is to prove to myself that I can do something which would be quite difficult or scary for me, and actually sort of achieve it. And that's also going to be a good example for the students, because they lack self-confidence, so it's good to prove to them that if I can do something really hard, then they can too.
I think seeing someone who kind of has a lot of fun at their expense and mocking them, doing something that I'm clearly uncomfortable with, and then actually, getting through the end of it and getting something out of it, I think they'll see that I'm not just, the mean teacher who mocks them, but someone who genuinely, does things for a reason and likes to get something out of it. So, hopefully they'll take that from this.
It's just not to be afraid of trying something different. Even though you've never done it before, you've had no experience whatsoever. I think maybe that's something you could take out of it.